want to talk about a sale that is going on. If you go to scraps.com and you go to Shop by Designer, NBK-Design, she has some specials going on right now on the 50% category. So if you never try NBK-Design, and that's always your opportunity, right? When the designer makes a sale. So she has a 50% off category, which is very nice. So you can try for half off. She has some glitter styles, watercolor swirls. There is this artsy layers here, which I love this one. And you can grab some artsy beads to check it out, paper. So it's a really good way to try the designer if you never tried NBK Design before. And also, our new collection here is still on sale, 20% off, which is the Live Wild and Free. I'm going to use some things from the collection and some things from other collections. And she has a collab with Viva Artistry, so you can grab also 20% off Viva Artistry collab with her. So, and oh, by the way, Nicole, which is, the designer, is on the chat, so you can chat with her if you have any questions. And I want to talk about something really exciting before we get started, which I think everyone that is watching this later, we are working really hard behind the scenes. And if you go to NBK Facebook, which is facebook.com/NBK-Design, everything together. You go here to the sidebar, which is the left sidebar. So also you can check the videos. I've been doing some live. Right now, summer break, I'm doing less because my son is at home. So, but we have a lot of videos there. But also we have something new. If you click here, groups, we would like you to join our Artology with NBK Design group. And right now you can join the group, and we have many things planned for the group, and we would love you to join. We are getting things started. So right now we are inviting you to join, but what we plan to do, exclusive tutorials there, sneak peeks, a lot of information for you about, product use. You can also ask questions, a lot of exclusive things for you. So you can check the group. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's a really nice way for us to get together and show our work. If you need some help using the products, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We don't want this to be just a group for you to see pages. We want it to be a group for you to get educated, to get help, to have fun, to learn how to use the product. So we intend to have a lot of brush tutorials, a lot of things that is just for the group, because, we want to, if everybody had the time to join the group, we want to give something back. So that is going to be our little group for education for you and inspiration and share, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So don't forget, go to facebook.com/NBK-Design, and then you can click on group on the side here. Or you can also search on Facebook Artology with NBK Design, and you're going to find that, okay? And if you can't find it anyway, just send a message on the Facebook, please add me, and I'll be sure you're going to be added to the group, okay? Okay, so let's go to Photoshop, because I have a lot of things to show you, and it goes really fast. Okay, so let me click here on my Photoshop. I have so many windows open. So let me get off the way, because you're going to need to see the sidebar there. Okay, so what I wanted to show you today are some things. We're going to talk about templates. I'm going to show you how I get to this, but first I was just testing here some things. I want to show you how I'm going to get some effects on this picture here with styles and some artistic filters in Photoshop Elements. And also I'm going to show you at the end how I did this layout. and how I accomplished this layout. And I'm going to show you also storybook templates. I think we don't talk much about it, and it's a great template. But I want to start first with this template, and this template is from the Live Wild and Free, week 27. So it comes with this, let me hide this. It comes with this stack of pictures here. And I wanted to see if Photoshop Elements 15 has grouping now. So I wanted to show you how I did this in Photoshop Elements 15. But I'm going to undo what I did, and then I'm going to do again in another way for people that don't have Photoshop Elements 15 and don't have the group feature. I'm not sure if 14 has it. If you are in Photoshop, full Photoshop, of course, you know you can group and you can do the same thing. So first of all, when you open the template, she has these guides here. And the way you remove the guide, you just go to View, Clear Guides. If you don't want the guides, some people like the guides, so that's fine. I myself, I prefer without the white border. So everything here is, you can hide. You don't need to use it as it is. So you can hide the border there. And another thing that I'm going to remove is this white thin border. You can leave if you want, depends on the kind of layout that you're doing. So this is the bare bone of the template. And by the way, if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. So this is what you get started. But the nice thing about the template is that, as you can see here, it has color burns, it has gesso, and it has texture, doodle. So all this actually can drag. And let me get my Wacom here turned on so I can use it instead of my mouse. You can get it started here, and you can click and drag this to other layouts. So you don't need to use just as it is. So do you need to use all these masks here? Of course not. If you want, you can just, take this tool, use just the big ones. I just think templates are so versatile, and you can do a lot with them. So first, I want to show, before I do my real final picture here, what I did, I clicked on each of the masks, holding the command control, and I clicked on each mask. As you can see, it has 5 masks. When you click on each one, then you right click, and it has, now I'm not gonna have it because I did it already. Oh, it has here, group from layers. So that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna group from layers, and then Photoshop Elements create this little group, which looks a little different than Photoshop. Photoshop, you have a little folder. In Photoshop Elements, it actually shows all the layers stacked here. So I think it's really a stacking instead of grouping. Full Photoshop creates a folder for you. So what you're gonna do simply is put the picture on top of this group and create a clipping mask. That's what I did here. And then you have all your pictures one at a time, on the thing there, okay? So that's what you wanna do. Let me see if it lets me go back to what I did before I grouped them. If you don't have that option, then what would you do? Yes, now we are back to the beginning, but I'm going to delete his picture because I'm gonna actually show you how we can give this picture a little bit more artsy look. I have actually a live tutorial on the Facebook about this as well, but we can try something different here. Grabbing some water. So I have loaded here the Live Wild and Free photo tint styles. Let me make sure I'm on the right layer. Yeah. I'm gonna, so if you see here, it gives this nice, some of them have like a canvas texture, like this one has a nice canvas texture. And you can see which one you like best. It's gonna vary a lot because it's gonna depend on your pictures. I think for him here, this one would look nice, or this one would look nice as well. So this you can see better. Okay, but I'm gonna go back to him. Before I do that, I'm gonna clear this layer here. Clear the style. And let's go to filters here. And we have the sponge. Let's see what that makes. Okay. The problem with the watercolor is that always gets in Photoshop Elements, always gets your picture really dark. So I really don't like that. I like, you know, the light on the picture. So here I'm putting the shadow intensity to 0. And let me zoom here so you can see here. So now he looks a little bit more watercolor painted, okay? So that's done. So we click OK here. So now I'm gonna go back to my styles here. And I'm gonna include the style there. I'm torn between, oh, this one looks nice. I think I like this because it gives a light here. So let's go with that. So there you have the watercolor with the texture from the style here. And you have the light leaks here. If you can see here, let me go here to my webinar. So if you can see here, the top of the trees here, they are really like painted. They are not straight at all. So when I post this, you can give a zoom and you're gonna see better. So now that my picture is ready, I went back a lot here. So I have to take off again that fine frame and clear the guides. Okay. So remember, if you have 15 or a Photoshop Elements that can do grouping, you can do like I did in the beginning. But if you don't have, there is another way, which Photoshop has many ways to do the same thing. Is we are going to start with, you know, putting him here. And I can see what I want him to be. And I'm going to just create a copy, Command-Control-J. And I'm going to put above, you know, if you just copy, it's the same size, the same thing. Because remember, if you move something, you have to move everything. Command-J. So this is a little bit more work, but at the end, I think it's the same thing. I don't mind at all. It's not a big deal for me. So then we can start creating a clipping mask, Option Alt, and create a clipping mask, or you can go to Layer, create a clipping mask. And I think I clicked something wrong. There we go. And then we can start clipping him to the So if this is not new for you, that's okay, because we have many people now joining and asking me to do some more beginners. So we all have different stages, and, you know, it's okay. So as you can see now, I have him there in all the layers again. So what you can do, you just copy and put above each mask, and you can do the same thing. But you just have to remember, though, that when you move one, you have to move all of them. Also, what you can do, you can, not sure, let me see. Oh, you can link them as well. If you see here, link layers. So when you link the layers, what it means that if you move them, they're all going to move together. So to keep them linked is the best thing, I think. Also, something that I always do when I do a layout, if I have many pictures like that in different frames like this, what I do also, I like to create a group in Photoshop. So, and then I put pictures, and then I know, okay, this is my pictures, let not mess over there. So it creates an organization for you, but you know, you can do whatever is best for you. So we have that done. I'm gonna just close him. So now I wanna show some use of the brush here. I'm not gonna finish this completely because otherwise I cannot show you the other things, but this is just something to get you started. I have here from the Anything is Possible, a solid paper. So I put at the very bottom here. And I have also this gesso here, which has a lot of texture and things like that. I'm gonna put on top. So, but what I don't want the gesso to be all over. I just want the gesso, you know, these textures to show in certain parts of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna create a mask over here. You just click on the mask and it creates a see all mask here. I have here loaded on the brush, the dynamic brushes from the Live Wild and Free, which is a ABR file. So we have this one Perfect Blender, and I'm gonna brush in black in my mask. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove, you know, this gesso in some parts because I want some of that green paper to show, but I want this kind of texture here to give a more realistic look. So Photoshop and masking is the way to go to better blending. But the way you blend better is if you have soft brushes like this one, that your edges are going to be really soft. And what that means is that if you look over here, and if you look over here, you can see that it's very soft approach. It's not a harsh line. And that's the way to do blending. There is not a lot of mystery to blending. It's just practice. And let me clear this. Masking is something that is powerful if you learn ways to do it. It's not new. There is nothing new about masking. But the powerful thing about masking is how you use it to create different effects. So I never use just one paper on my layouts. I'm always mixing them. So how can you mix them? You can mix them masking them. You can mix them blending them with different texture brushes. You can mix them creating blend modes. So that's the way your layout have a more artistic look. I love texture in my layouts because it gives a more realistic feel. So we have that. So I hope that one helped you a little bit. She has brushes here on the template. You can change the color. You can use a style. You see this one here. So from here, my layout is practically done. I'm just gonna put some elements. I put a word art. I talk about where we were there, what he was looking at, and the layout is done. And I don't care at all that has a little, you know, because he's a male, has a little pinky here because it goes really well with green. So if you have any questions so far, let me know. Otherwise, we can go to the next one. I'm going to save this so I can finish and post later for you guys. So I'm going to show here my bridge because I'm going to get another template, which I think we never actually showed live or in videos. Like I just talk about them when I show the collection, but it's the storybook. And I'm going to open this one in Photoshop. So if you see here, this is the storybook. So the storybook, what it is you can record a whole month in a different size. Then you can print at home because 8.5 by 11, or you can send to a place like Blurb that do books that are more affordable. And you know, and you can, if you print at home, you can use just a binder, buy a, you know, a cute binder, and you can put the layouts there, which are really nice. You can buy photo paper at Target. They have really good paper actually from Epson and an HP. I bought it before. So you can do that. So the goal here is scrap fast, a little bit of artsy, but make your stories. I have right now my sister here visiting from Brazil at my house. So I'm thinking ways to record her visit. And I'm thinking I'm gonna go with this because I have so many pictures. And the nice thing is that you can mix and match different storybooks. So again, we can clear guides. And I just want to show you guys here how it would look if you're doing a spread, if somebody's visiting, if you visit a place in a trip and you want to do, you know, a trip and you want to record, but you, like me, you like artsy, you don't like clean, but storybooks you can totally make clean. You just remove this mask and you just put the pictures and you're all done. So you're not gonna see this, but I'm gonna just go here and pick up my pictures that I exported. All right, this is the first picture. Second picture. So this picture here is a little dark. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm gonna try first another style to see, although the picture is still a little dark. So let me clean that up. I think I'm going to have to put some, if you go to adjustment layers, let's go to brightness and contrast, just up a little bit. Okay. And let me go to levels. It makes it a little brighter. And now that it's brighter, I just select all of them and I'm gonna click merge layers, okay? Now that they are merged, I can go back and maybe use, oh, this one looks much better, this style here, okay? So you notice here I have a black and white picture. I love to do this kind of contrast, black and white and color pictures, because it shifts the attention. So I want to talk about how I did this black and white picture. I used two apps here. First, if you use, I use an app called, let me check my phone here so I don't say something wrong, called Carbon. So let me write here with my terrible handwriting. Carbon, okay? And this app is just for black and white, but has some beautiful black and white. I'm a kind of a sucker for black and white apps. So then it actually comes with some free, you know, you can get it for free, and you have some black and white filters to play. I got some extra one because I love these ones that give a lot of contrast. You can see here my sun is brighter. There's some parts that are brighter. So I don't know if you can see that, but the picture has some texture. And the way I did that, I went to another app, which is a fabulous app. It's just amazing, called Distress Effects. So if you go to Distress Effects, and I'm actually gonna do some more tutorials because Distress Effects just had a update. But if you go to my blog, I have a tutorial of Distress Effects. But they just updated, they changed a lot. So, but Distress Effects has two layers. If first on the top with some, you know, if you want some lights, some vignettes, and then you can choose some textures. And they just released a package of black and white textures. So what I did here, I added on the picture some black and white texture. And you can mask the texture, you can, you know, reduce the texture so it's not that strong. It's amazing app. So this is what I did here. That's why it's looking like this. If you follow me, if you follow my Instagram, you know I play a lot with apps. And to tell you the truth, to me right now, to do effects on pictures, it's faster and better for me to do with apps than in Photoshop. Because with Photoshop, it's so many steps. It's so much work. When nowadays we have apps that with a tap, you can make beautiful pictures. So I really don't do anymore so much on Photoshop, to tell you the truth. I think app is the way to go right now. If you have an Android, another app that has textures and black and white is PixArt. PixArt has for Android, is a fabulous app. I want to do more tutorials on that. I think if you have Android, it's the best option for you. And it has layers, it has so many things. And I'm sure we're gonna do some tutorials when fall comes with PixArt, because I think it's great for Android users, and of course it has for iPhone. So enough about that. I went on a tangent. I get really excited about pictures and apps. So now that I have this here, I'm gonna go back to the storybook. And I have this huge watercolor here. This is when I want my black and white picture to go. So I want my picture here. It needs to be way bigger than that. And probably it's not gonna fit all, but we're gonna make it fit. Don't worry about it. Command Option Alt and create a clipping mask. So I usually click on the mask here, the watercolor, and I extend the watercolor a little bit. okay? But as you can see, some of my features here and us together here is not very clear. So usually what I do, I am still clicked on the mask. Then I'm going to the brush. And let me go back to black and white. My color is in black. I'm gonna go to the brush tools again. And she has here a watercolor with texture brush. I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit because as you can see, this mask here is very soft. I don't want it to overpower the original mask. I'm going to increase the fade a little bit because it makes it not so strong. So you can increase the fade and you can play to see what you like. So with black, I'm just gonna, you know, tap more a little bit here, especially on my hair here, his arm. And you can see now that you can see us better. And I'm just gonna complete my son's feet here. I just wanna make us a little bit visible. So you don't have, you know, if the mask is not the way you totally like, you can change the mask with the brush tools. Just go for it. Because you had so much work, right? Playing with that on your app, so you want the texture to show. So it gives a great combination because it has the texture, it shows better the texture of the original picture. I'm using a Wacom tablet, but you can certainly, like, let me grab my mouse, you can certainly go and click, or you can rest your finger and keep brushing it. You see that? Let me show just a little bit more my skirt here. That's it. So as you can see me much better now. And I'm gonna be on top of my son here so we can see him better. So in the middle, I didn't do anything. So it's very soft, the mask. And I just made sure that with the watercolor texture brush that we can see better here, okay? So that's it. Just a little bit more his head here. Let me grab a sip of water. So I have this other mask here. And as you can see, it's not that big because I have this other picture here. Okay, so we can do two things. We can try, let me close this paper. We can try to make this mask bigger. And I'm going to remove that white frame there, okay? I think actually that's gonna be good, so let's see. I just want actually to show them. I'm gonna have later on the album plenty of pictures of, you know, of the scenario that I was taking the picture, the place. So Command Control, Command Option Alt, and I have there. And let me actually take this. There we go. So as you can see now, we can do the same thing. I can go here with my black brush. I'm using the watercolor texture, just a tiny bit, really small brush on him and my son. So then the edges are all soft, okay? So if we put a paper, then you're gonna see that how much better now it looks blended there. So let me just choose a paper here. Let me see. You're not gonna see my bridge now while I'm choosing the paper. So as you can see now, because the edges here are so soft, of course you're gonna extend the paper and everything. You can choose 2 different papers. So I can just, for example, for each page, but I'm probably gonna use 1 paper for this whole spread, because when you open the book, it's gonna be, I know Blurb does soft books, so when you open, it's gonna be 1 thing. So let me just make it bigger. So let me give a close-up so you can see now. As you can see here, we can barely see where the paper started and where the paper ends. Okay? There you go. So we cannot see. It's really soft because the edges are very soft. So this is just to show you how you can do a 2-page really fast and really nicely. Probably the book would have the the middle here, and I don't care, because again, this is just to document the strip that my sister is doing, and later I'm sure I'm gonna do a different layout to tell a story about my son and my husband in a different layout, because I use pictures again and again all the time, because if they have different stories, you can use them again. So I'm probably gonna use just this one to do a family layout, and I had took several pictures of them together, so I'm gonna do another one. So this is just to document the trip. So this is just for you to see how easy you can do things with the storybook. And every collection that NBK-Design does, and let me show this because we are on time. She has a storybook. So for example, here on the Art and Nature, this is the Art and Nature collection. Look at how nice is this storybook. So if you have trip to the gardens, and you can, do a very fast project. She put even a cover, so you have a cover for the project. It's really nice putting together something fast. You don't need even to do all this blending that I did. You can just pop the pictures, pop the paper, write, and you're done. Practically you are done. So that's it. So if you have any question, let me know. I'm gonna open my other layout, the last one. Let's go back to Photoshop. I'm gonna save this so I can finish later. If you are a beginner and watching this, I have a free class, totally free, with NBK-Design templates, and free at my digital classroom for artistic scrapbooking. So she was gracefully a sponsor for my free class, so you can go there, and she has a set of 2 templates free, and I go through how can you do the whole layout of the free class. Then I have a more advanced class from that class, which is the Intro to Artsy 2, which she has also created brush tools and styles, and you know, I have a whole set of supplies, also papers, for you to take to the next level and learn to use the brush tools and learn how to blend and actually take the whole template and modify totally with the brushes and things. So you can check that out, but you can totally start with the free class. And you can, if you want to have the opportunity to use her templates, that's a great way for you to get started. Join the free class there. Okay. I'm gonna actually save this. All right. Let me open here the other layout I want to talk about. Okay, so let me show you from the beginning how I did this. I don't have time to start this from scratch, but you're going to understand everything that I did here. Let's start from the beginning. So I start with the background here from, I think this one was from the Live and Free. That one I forgot to put the name, but it's a solid paper. I think it's from the Live and Free collection. Maybe Nicole help me out and remember me which paper is that. So I wanted to use as well this paper here. I have to unclip them. That is from the collab Live Wild and Free with NBK-Design and Viva Artistry. So I wanted this paper, but I didn't want this paper. It was too overwhelming, but it's a beautiful paper. So the way I did it, I went to the Colors of India blenders, which is one of my favorites. I use them all the time. I love blenders overlays, and we actually have tutorial on that. Check on the Facebook videos, NBK-Design videos. And I wanted to blend the paper with this. So you just create a clipping mask. And as you can see, it's not so overwhelming right now. And if it's still, yes, so it's from the background here, the page is from the Live Wild and Free. And if you think, oh, it's still a little bit too much, you can always go and create a mask and you can reduce the paper even more. But to me, it was good like this. So let me talk about this picture here. I have to unclip here. This picture was done with an app called iColorama. If you go to my Instagram, you can see now videos of me painting with iColorama. And I have some tutorials of iColorama, but it changed so much. I'm gonna do a second tutorial. But iColorama, you can basically paint your picture like I did here. I have an iPad Pro, but you can certainly use your finger. I use the Apple Pencil, but you can use your finger. Although it's gonna look better if you use something on your tablet that has sensitivity. But iColorama, if this is too overwhelming for you, iColorama can be a little overwhelming. It's so huge that I use it for a long time and I'm still discovering things. But if this is overwhelming for you and you have an iPhone and you have an iPad, they have an app called IC Painter. IC Painter. And let me check. I don't think this is for iPhone, it's just for iPad. No, my iPad is not here. But what it does is that you put the picture and it's gonna paint automatically. You just click go and it's gonna paint for you. You don't need to, paint manually. Because on iColorama, you have all these settings that you can change. With the IC Painter, it does for you automatically. You don't need to do anything. So if you're in a hurry or you don't really want to learn right now iColorama, or you are still learning iColorama, you can use IC Painter and just click go and it's gonna paint for you. I'm gonna do a tutorial for that as well, showing that. So that's how I did it. Other ways you could do something like this. You can stack many filters in Photoshop, many. You can use mixer brushes. NBK has mixer brushes. Check a previous webinar that I have at our webinar last month. I use mixer brushes to mix the pictures like this, to paint on the pictures, okay? You can use mixer brushes, or you can use actions and plugins. But, they all are gonna be more expensive than using an app or buying a mixer brush, because mixer brushes, NBK has a mixer brush that is really good and you can paint. So go to our Vimeo and check the tutorials and also the last webinar that we have. So this is how I did. So the way I blended the picture, now let me show you here. I have a group that has From Anything is Possible masks. And they are such great masks for blending. And let me show you here my bridge. I have 20 minutes to finish this, so I'm gonna speak a little bit fast. So this is the blender mask For Anything is Possible. They're great. Very soft edges, great for blending. So what I did here, let me go back. So what I did here, if you can see, let me turn on my spotlight, is that I have two of them, stacked, because one of them was too short, as you can see, so I put this other one on top of it. So this is what I did. Then I grouped from the layers, and I masked, I make a clipping mask to the group. And then that's how you get that. Because when you have a picture like this that looked painted, you want your layout to look painted as well. Otherwise, it's not going to fit. At least this is my opinion. So it's a way to give a more artistic feel to your layout. And this is what I like. Yeah, they look cool stacked together. And the good thing, fellas, is that when they stack together like this, you can create even another mask. So, and again, the way you stack them, you just select them. You group from the layers, okay? Then you can just clip whatever you want on top of them, and it's gonna blend everything together. So it works great. Let me take a sip of water. Okay. Okay, so this is where we are here. Then what I did, I grabbed here this watercolor, another mask here, and I used style from the Live Wild and Free called Mix of Styles, which has some acrylic painting. Because I'm using a watercolor mask, just like the ones we used here. And let me zoom here so you can see. Because the mask is soft, what happens is that the style is going to look soft as well. So that's the key with styles. It's all going to depend on the mask you're using or the brush you're using. I wanted this to be a really soft edge here, as you can see, a transition. Painted here, but I don't want my paint here to overwhelm my picture, right? I just did this cool picture. I don't want it to, you know, other things to take the attention of my picture. Okay, so I did that. Then next, what I did, I chose from the brush mix, just a brush, and I used the brush mix from the Wild and Free. And I use another style, which is the vintage. It's from the Mix of Styles. On the Mix of Styles, there is a style that has some text and vintage paper. I always love to have scripts on my layouts. I know it's repetitive, but I love it. I don't care. So what else I do? Then I went and choose from the Wild and Free a magic light. I put it behind my picture. I use this all the time. You can go to my layouts and you're gonna see I use magic lights a lot. I just love them. I think they reflect here, because if you see our picture, there's light here, light here. It's almost like the lights, let me draw here. Almost like the lights coming this way. Okay, so if you put the magic light here, then it's going to reflect that. And to me, this is one of the whole reasons I became a digital scrapper, to be able to do this kind of effects that I could not do on paper. So I use the blend mode hard light. Let me just put normal so you can see what it looks like. This is normal. And I changed to hard light. So I wanted to notice that I'm creating all these things around this picture to make it softer, to bring cohesion to the picture. I use this that has the same color of our skin tone and all that kind of stuff, okay? So then I just started to put some elements that it needed for the layout to be completed. After I blended everything, then I put some sprinkles. I love sprinkles. And this is all from the Wild and Free. I started to stack them together there. This is from the collab, from the Viva Artistry Kit, these flowers. This I'm going to put the date here of her visit. This is my sister. Another flower from the bread from the collab with Viva Artistry. And I finished with Happy Life word art from the collection Happy Life. This is kind of sticker word art, like a washi word art. So this is pretty much how I finish, guys. So you can see that you don't need a lot to make that artistic things. But don't get discouraged if you don't have the app. You can certainly, if you have an Android, as I said, use PixArt. You can certainly use the filters in Photoshop Elements, and you can certainly use the filters in Photoshop. But I think this way, I love to play and I love to use these pictures on my layout. So you can see that it goes really well together. And what I did here, just to show you, so we create a triangle here, 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 and then the picture in the middle here. as calling the focus attention here. Okay. Any questions? So I want to remind again, oh, no problem. So I want to remind again, join us at the new group for NBK-Design, Artology by NBK-Design. And just go to her Facebook. You just go to her Facebook and click here, groups. And then you're going to find Artology with NBK-Design. And join the group. We're going to have some exclusive things for you there. Okay? So thank you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll post the recording as well if you arrived here later, or if you are not, if you want to catch this, you know, better later. All right? Thank you guys for joining us today.